Hello, RCSJ community. Hope everybody is having a great day and welcome to RCSJ Today. I'm Isaiah Green, your host for the day, and today we have a special treat for you because we have a RCSJ and Rowan University alumni and South Jersey native in the house. We have Mr. Leon Purvis. Mr. Purvis, thank you for being here today. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing great, and I'm happy to be here.
That's good. That's good. So, as I just said, South Jersey native. Let's just start off with this conversation. What does South Jersey and growing up here, being a Glassboro native, what does that mean to you?
It just means so much. Growing up in a small town, Glassboro, New Jersey, growing up 30 minutes from Philly, 2 hours from New York City, 2.5 hours from DC. You always feel like being from Glassboro, you have like big dreams and aspirations. And just to give you an example, my graduating high school class was 136 students. And so to be able to go out in the world and accomplish different things and seeing like people I went to high school with accomplish different things is just amazing. So it's always that Glassboro pride. And once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog.
Yeah. So you graduated from Glassboro High School and then continued your academic career at the Rowan College of South Jersey. How much of an impact did they have on your career as far as where you're at right now?
So I would say RCSJ had a really big impact on my career. I remember taking my first journalism class at RCSJ. And at first, I was a little nervous to take the class because I wasn't sure how well I would do in that course. And I wanted to go to RCSJ, get my associate's degree, and then transfer to Rowan University to major in radio, television, film, right? And so when I took the journalism class at RCSJ, there was this professor in this class, Keisha Patterson, shout out to her. We would like do like different like pop quizzes, like current events, and then we would have our certain beats, right? So say if you had like business or entertainment or health, right? And you would have that same like beat with someone else in the classroom, and you would have to like pitch stories. And you'd go around the room and pitch the story, and whatever she thought was the best story was the person that got the highest score for that beat contest. Like it works like a newsroom, right? You go around the newsroom, you pitch story ideas, you're looking for that lead story. So that kind of gave me an introduction of what a newsroom actually works like. And then also the different print journalism assignments that we had, I like the idea of going out to cover something, ask people as many questions as I want to without them asking, why are you asking me this? What just felt like phenomenal. And turning that into a story for, of course, my professor at the time felt really good to me. And actually, recently, that professor had reached out to me on LinkedIn, and she said, as an undergraduate, Leon gave 100% to each and every journalism assignment. He was studious, prepared, and showed a command of the profession and the ethics it would require. A large personality, Leon was well liked and respected by his peers. I wish him all the success and hope he thanks me when he gives his Pulitzer speech. Well, I might not be giving my Pulitzer speech today, but I'm saying thank you.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. So, talking about radio, television, and film and communications, at what point in your life, whether it was high school, younger than that, or older than that, did you feel like you knew that this is the industry that you wanted to be in?
Actually, funny story. So at first, I wanted to be a doctor. When I was, growing up in Glassboro school districts and even up until a certain point in high school, right? But when I started high school, I started making like YouTube videos just for fun, like on the side, as like kind of like a hobby, right? But I was still like focused on wanting to be a doctor. I was set up to take pre-calculus and honors chemistry. My mom didn't want me to take a science and a math that was going to be challenging in the same semester. She made me drop honors physics and signed me up for TV production one. I was so mad at her. Like I was like angry. Like I was like, why'd you do this? Da-da-da-da-da. Like, the type of like kid parent like argument. And then she was like, well, you make YouTube videos. When you take the class, you might end up liking the class. By the end of the class, I knew I wanted to work in television the rest of my life.
That's amazing, man. Blessing in disguise. Now that you're a reporter, describe your experiences of being a reporter ever since you've left Rowan University and what you've done, who you've reported for, traveling. Describe that and what that experience has been like.
So reporting is different each and every day. So I got my first job in TV in Eureka, California, 5 hours north of San Francisco, 3 hours from Reading. So when I graduated college, I tossed up my cap, packed my car, drove 3,000 miles across country in 4 days by myself. And I wanted to hit the ground running. And my goal was to get a job in TV upon graduating college. And just the daily grind of when I was working in Eureka, being in MMJ, coming up with story ideas, turning a package into VOSAT, having that ready on deadline, posting your stories to the web, all in the mix is what the daily grind is to be an MMJ. And now, being a reporter each and every day, it's different in the middle of coronavirus. Currently, I work in Springfield, Massachusetts, and anything can happen in a given day. I could be working on, two different stories, one story for one newscast, another story for a different newscast. But if something breaks at like 1 o'clock or 1:30, there are situations where those stories are dead and I'm on something else. And they're like, okay, we want you live in this show, that show. You're going to lead all the newscasts.
That's amazing. Since you've been doing this, what's been your favorite story to cover, or your most like impactful story that you've covered?
I love telling stories about people. The thing about journalism is to tell someone's story. So, when I go to the scene of a fire and find out what happened, like for an example, just before Christmas, there was this family in Southwick that lost everything in a house fire, right? A mom and a dad, they had a toddler daughter, and they just had a newborn baby boy, and they lost everything right before Christmas. And so, of course, it's always a delicate situation. It's always, I just felt so bad for the family. I was like, hey, listen, I want to be able to help you out by telling your story so people know what happened to you so that they can help you out. Those types of stories about people get me every time.
Got you. So, being a reporter during the COVID-19 pandemic and having to be shut in and quarantined all the time, what's that been like as a reporter? Because that obviously had a major impact on what you do on a day-to-day basis. What's that been like?
This has a major impact. So I got here actually to Springfield May of 2020, right before coronavirus hit. The country shut down, I think like mid-March or whatever. And so I had to work out of a news car. So I was not allowed to, at the station. I would call in for our editorial meetings or, have our editorial meetings over Zoom like we are right now and pitch story ideas and then try to interview people. If I couldn't meet up with them in person, do it over FaceTime, Skype, or Zoom. We wear masks, we social distance, we have social distancing poles, and we drive separate news cars from our photographers. That's how it's been like. It's been very, very different in regards to how we do our job. But as journalists, it's very important to keep everyone informed and tell everyone what's going on and be there with them every step of the way.
Okay, got you. So, for my last question, I'm gonna do a little two-in-one type question. So, what has been the best piece of advice someone who, at the time when you first got into the field of communications, that was more advanced than you? What was the best piece of advice they gave you? And then, what advice do you have for someone that's just getting started in the communications field?
I love this question. So, when I was in college, during my time at Rowan University, I had the opportunity to intern at the Today Show. So all of us Today Show interns, we got to sit down in the room with Hoda Kotb, who's now co-anchor of Today. And Hoda Kotb had told us how she drove around the southern eastern side of the country, went to 27 different news directors, and got 27 different no's. And it wasn't until she got to Greenville, Mississippi, where she got that one yes. And that's all it takes. You don't need everyone to like you. You only need that one person to like you, that one person to give you a chance, that one person to give you a shot. And so knowing that gave me like, all right, like I just got to shoot a whole bunch of darts at the board. Whatever sticks, sticks. If it doesn't stick, if only one sticks, I'm good. And so I think that's kind of the best piece of advice. You are going to get a lot of no's, but you can't take no as an answer. You have to be consistently persistent. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep grinding. Why not you?
Yeah, definitely. It's very impactful. And Mr. Purvis, do you have anything else you want our CSJ Today community to know?
The universe is the limit for you too. You're doing a great job, Isaiah. You got to bug out. Make sure you people, if you haven't heard of Isaiah Green, look him up. He has an interesting story.
Thank you. Thank you. So we want to thank everyone in our RCSJ Today community for watching Mr. Purvis's story. And Continue to follow us for more content. And until next time, I'm Isaiah Green from RCSJ today. Have a good day, everybody.